Right. So another, as you can tell, another boring-ass day in Fargo. So boring. So I'd like to talk to you all this afternoon about the Longspur Prairie Fund. But before we get into any of that, I want to talk to you a little bit about our relationship with the natural world. Now, by natural world, I don't mean the cosmos, so we can leave aside galactic collisions and black holes and nebulae. And I also don't mean, by natural world, the planet, so we can leave out, at least for the moment, Brazilian rainforests, African savannas, or Antarctica. What I mean by the natural world here, at least for the next 7 minutes, is our natural world. The landscape, the environment, the ecology within which we live. Our landscape, our environment, our ecology, our natural world. The Red River Valley. Now, it's so easy to forget about our natural world, especially when nature is so often defined for us as melting glaciers, scorched jungles, dying wildlife. Now, these things are absolutely real, but they are so big, so abstract, and so far away that even when they worry us, we can't help but feel detached from them. And let's be totally honest, sometimes we want that detachment, right? I mean, sometimes it's easier not to know about some of the things that are going on out there. I mean, isn't nature so much easier to think about like this as opposed to this? And isn't nature so much easier to think about like this as opposed to like this? Of course it is. That's what makes it easy to look away. That's what makes it easy to blame big evil corporations or big evil governments. That's why it's easy for us to pull back. In one way, it's almost necessary for us to cultivate detachment. Otherwise, how exactly are we supposed to function? How could we go to work every day, day in and day out, thinking about something like this? Well, we couldn't. So we detach. Now, one drawback of that habit, however, is that it also becomes easier to detach from our natural world here in the high plains. And this brings us to the Longspur Prairie Fund. Now, what is Longspur exactly? Longspur is about engaging our natural world here in the valley and defining it for ourselves. It's about preserving the natural legacy of our own ecology. It's about living fully attached within our own environment, and it's about owning the beauty and riches of our own native landscapes. Now, that sounds nice, but what are the particulars? Well, Longspur publishes and works on 3 different kinds of projects. Number 1, prairie and wetland restoration. Number 2, scholarship in the arts and sciences directly related to prairie and wetlands. And number 3, perhaps most controversially, work on carbon sequestration. Now, let's take each one of these in turn. Longspur's primary goal is to take landscapes that look like this and turn them into landscapes that look like this. Now, of course, both of these landscapes are gorgeous, and both of these landscapes are completely necessary. Longspur works to help strike a balance between agricultural production, the single most substantial pillar economically of our community, and ecological production, the use of marginal farmland for science, hunting, research, as well as other commercial and environmental services like floodwater retention, pollinator habitat, or carbon sequestration, which is just to name a few. Now, what makes this work so important right now in the present moment is that it is part of a massive 25-year plan to fundamentally transform our region. This 25-year plan, developed by the Minnesota DNR, Ducks Unlimited, the Nature Conservancy, and many, many other conservation outfits, large and small, is going to fundamentally transform the western side of the state. And Longspur's work in the valley is a part of it. As one of my pals said when he first saw this slide, he said, "This effing thing restores my faith in humanity." It's just a perfect way to put it. It's exactly right. Scott Holdman, thank you very much. This project is the result of a deliberate, efficient planning process, a collaboration between all interested parties: hunters, ecologists, farmers, business owners, local, small nonprofits, and state organizations. It shows what is completely possible and completely doable. This is not theory, this is real, it is happening. When we put aside all the political nonsense and focus on doing something that is real and good for our local economies and our local ecologies. Now, once a site's been restored, the next phase of our work begins, and that is facilitating scholarships in the arts and sciences that are directly related to prairie programs and our local colleges and universities. In 2012 and 2013, Longspur hosted 3 different scientific research projects. Dr. Laura Aldrich-Wolf studied subterranean microfungal organisms and their relationship to plant life. Professor Joe Whitaker, also at Concordia, worked on small mammals in our native prairie. And the masterful Brian Bishop worked on native pollinators, again in the Red River Valley. Now, the point of all of this is that Longspur does all the paperwork. Longspur does all the bureaucracy, and that lets our scientists and our students stay focused on their work and on their scholarship. Now, one of the most interesting / controversial projects that we're working on now deals with the use of local prairie and wetlands for carbon sequestration. Or to put this another way, we want to figure out exactly how much waste CO2 can be stored in our native landscapes and how this storage can be linked directly to waste being produced in our urban centers. Now, this is work that was being built first on some research done at the UND, at the Energy and Environmental Research Center up there. What we're trying to do within the next 6 months is offer our region an authentic system for managing our carbon footprints. Now, this is not about carbon credits, and it's not about carbon trading, and it is most definitely not about greenwashing. All of this is 100%, well, maybe 99% bogus, all right? It's also not looking to the government for some kind of legal framework within which our pollution can be offset, right? Rather, this is about finding an authentic, scientifically grounded way for our community, our local specific community, to effectively and voluntarily take responsibility for our own garbage. Now, the science is a little bit tricky, but the principle is not. We need to pick up our own trash, right? Now, none of this is going to stop the ice caps from melting, not even close, and we are not going to reforest the Amazon, and we can't bring back the West African black rhino. But we can, right now, in the present moment, this moment, begin to cultivate the real skills, the real resources that we need to integrate, celebrate, and preserve our natural world here in the Red River Valley. Want to help? Easy as pie. Get on your phone right now and like us on Facebook. We will never preach, and we will only post concrete results. Now, of course, this work takes time, naturally, and we need to be patient, and of course, we need to keep it real. Most of all, we need to make sure that the work that we do is 100% on purpose. Thank you.